y'all. You on Out of Bounds Sports Show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all our sponsors who made this show possible for us to bring it to you live and uncut from the view of the big dog. A little bit of history about me. I did play football and basketball on the collegiate level and on the professional level. And so my point of view is a little different as a player. And I don't hold back. I don't lie to you guys. I just give you 100% the truth of how I feel. That's what got me here today. So a few things that happened today. A few things that happened today. We already predicted that the Boston Celtics would, prevail in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James came out tonight on a mission. 24 points in the first half. I think he had 19 in the first quarter. He was unstoppable. But it all fell into the game plan of what the Boston Celtics was trying to do. See, when you understand that some teams have a great player, but they don't have a lot of players around them that are great, then this is what you get. LeBron James comes out and tears up the gym. And nobody else is in rhythm. Nobody else is in sync. Nobody else is taking any shots but LeBron. So now, when you actually need LeBron to pass the ball to somebody that's going to give him some help or open up his game because they've tightened down defensively, and nobody's ready. And I didn't think that Cleveland was going to win the series anyway with the personnel around LeBron. They're still in the building process with all the trades and losing Kyrie and getting Isaiah and losing Isaiah and getting Jose Calderon. This is the reality of LeBron James in this situation right now. So, down 0-2, headed back to Cleveland. I don't see where the Cleveland Cavaliers can make a major adjustment to say, hey, we're legitimate contenders in this series. I just don't see it. The Boston Celtics have a great defensive scheme to stop LeBron. Well, you can't really stop him, but to stop him from being as effective as he usually is, especially with the lesser teammates around him. You can pretty much stop talking about the comparison between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I wish people would just stop talking about that. That's not going to be a reality. That won't happen this year. Even if LeBron James was to pull out a miracle and come back and win this series and have to play Golden State or Houston, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be Golden State. They're not ready. They can't beat either one of those teams. So it would be a triumph for a defeat. And I'm not a hater. LeBron James, at this point right now, is the best player in the world. Hands down, if he was to play anybody pretty much one-on-one right now that's playing in the top level, highest level of basketball right now, he probably would win that matchup. Guys like Kevin Durant would probably give him a run for his money. But he's not big enough, he's not strong enough, and he can just kind of get banged to the rim if they're playing one-on-one. Rules are a little bit different. But LeBron James needs to change, and he's on the back end of his career. And all superstars fade out at some point. It doesn't matter how good you are. So we'll see in Game 3, because Boston is up 2-0. And they're playing stellar team defense. And of course, they played well at home. So you took care of your home. Now it's time to see if we can take care of ours. Should be the mindset LeBron James could come in and talk to his team about, because he's going to have to rally his team to beat these guys. Also tonight, the NBA draft lottery. You know, I don't know why they make a big deal out of the draft lottery. If you're going to draft, you're going to get drafted. You know, if you're a good player, you're going to go in a high pick. If you're a mediocre player, you probably go second round. So making this big fuss about who's going to get a chance to pick who, you find that out on draft day, in my opinion. But we do know that the Phoenix Suns will be picking with the number 1 pick for the first time in franchise history. Wow. So it's an odds game. And a lot of teams get stuck out, as you could say, for, I could have used a better use of word, but we just use stuck out. A lot of teams get stuck out over the years because you have to play the numbers game. And even though you might have a high percentage of getting the number 1 pick, sometimes the ball just doesn't swing your way. Case in point, the Phoenix Suns, who for the first time in franchise history are picking for the first time, or picking the number 1 pick. That's amazing. But other teams have been on the drought that long. It's a few. So, congratulations to the Phoenix Suns and their administration. We're probably going to pick Marvin Bagley. He's probably the most complete draftee, even though he's still young. But if you're talking about somebody you need to pick in the draft that's notable, that could play the game, that's been successful, that has been consistent, you have to go with Marvin Bagley. But the Phoenix Suns need a lot of pieces, so they may take that draft pick and try to negotiate to get some draft picks from the years down the line, or maybe 2 or 3 draft picks later in the first round and the second round for that number 1 pick. Oh, who knows? That's all a gamble. But we'll figure that out when the time comes for those guys to start drafting guys. You're on Out of Bounds Sports Show with the Big Dog. We'll be back in a moment. With over 15 years of hair experience, a master with the hot comb in pressing and making the hair soft and beautiful and bouncy. You're just an email away from a wonderful experience at Horns Hair. Email us at jdastylist@gmail.com for your appointment today. The Big Dog will take care of you.
The most complete and unique style of training for athletes ages 7 to professional. If we're not training you, we could be training your opponent. Get at us to get more info. Put in work.
Hello Hello and thank you for tuning in. You're watching the Out of Bounds Sports Network with your host, Jay Horn.
All right, everybody, we're back on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. Thank you for tuning in to the sports show. We're going to get to our next topics. As we get ready to talk about those, make sure you visit us at www.outofboundswithazsports.com for more information on how you can advertise during the show. And if you are interested in that, you can also email us at outofboundswithazsports@gmail.com, and we'll make sure we get back to you as soon as possible. So our next topic is somewhat of a touchy subject, but it's only touchy for the people who, are interested in how the system works and what kind of benefits that you get from being in a certain type of system. Okay? And there was a statement made by Nick Saban, head coach of the national champion Alabama Crimson Tide, through the playoff, college football playoff, which is a system that college football has been attached to show who has the best schedule and to give teams that have played very well against very well teams an opportunity to have the crown as a national champion going through their system and winning the games that are allotted to them. He made a statement about UCF. Now, as you can remember back during the season, UCF was the only undefeated football team in America this year in NCAA college. And Alabama, who was a one-loss national champion, who lost to Auburn, to the Auburn Tigers, a member of the SEC, one of the toughest conferences in college football. And UCF beat them. Now, UCF was not given an opportunity because of their strength of schedule to play in the college football playoff for the national championship. They were only ranked number 12, so they would have to be ranked in the top 4 to get one of those spots, and they weren't. But the eventual national champion Alabama Crimson Tide did go through the college football playoff and won their games and were eventually crowned the national champion. UCF didn't feel like that was fair. And so, because they had beat the team that won the national championship, they felt like that they were national champions. And they claimed that we're undefeated. We beat the team that beat you, that you claim as national champion, so we should be in that conversation. So what they did was, through their team, a parade, a national championship parade, and bought them national championship rings to go along with that. Nick Saban said that wasn't fair. Nick Saban said that he doesn't believe that a team that didn't play the toughest opponents, basically, and I'm not quoting him verbatim, I'm just breaking it down to you guys the way I interpreted when I read the article, that basically teams shouldn't try to say that they're the national championship and then they have to play all the tough teams to get to the big game. And I agree in a certain aspect. And what I mean by that is, I do agree that you should be able to skate and slide and slip under and then just get to the top and you have a tough road, to travel. But what I don't agree or like about it is football to football. And if you're on a college level, that means you was getting recruited majority of the time to play and you were the best at your school, and so you got an opportunity to play against some better guys at another school. So there should not be any discrimination as far as who plays who, because everybody has to put on football pads, shoulder pads, jockstrap, cleats, helmet, and whatever else they like to wear to compete. So Nick Saban, I think he was a little sour about all the attention UCF was getting, but hey, they're undefeated, so they should be able to get all the attention that they want to get. So our next topic that we're going to talk about is gambling. Now we all know that the gambling industry made $150 billion in illegal gambling last year. And as the numbers say, they only made about 50 million. And I'm just reading the article. I don't know if that's correct or not. I'm going to have to do a little more research on that because it just doesn't sound right. If you can calculate $150 billion in illegal gambling, then why is the number of legal gambling winnings so low? Well, the Supreme Court just passed a law in 32 states. So that means we still have 18 states that's not really feeling the gambling. But 32 states are. And they're getting ready to legalize sports betting in many, many states. New Jersey was the front runner for this law to be passed. And Governor Chris Christie took a lot of flack. And coming up, I think it was in 2004, and challenging the gambling industry to have legalized gambling in Atlantic City and so on in that area. But I'm pleased to say that there is an opportunity to legalize something that people do, and I don't think it's so bad that gambling is a part of how people produce revenue. You have to take a risk in anything. You take a risk to get up in the morning to go to your job, you get in the car. You're taking the risk to go in there, and your boss might say, you know what, today is the last day you'll be working at this establishment. That's a risk. That's a gamble. You could lose everything. I think a lot of people that gamble are aware that they could lose everything, but they like the thrill. They like the risk. That's not hurting anybody. So why is it illegal? I believe it's illegal because the government is trying to count people's money. You're already taxing everybody. I don't understand. Just like marijuana. Why isn't marijuana legal everywhere? It's a healing agent. Marijuana is one of the very few drugs that can give an enhancement, a downer. It can heal. It can help with your regularity. It can help with muscle pain, back pain, stress. And you don't mix it with anything. Just grow it in the ground. Natural. God-given. But people are still getting locked up for marijuana. People are still losing privileges for marijuana. Some people need that. And you know it and I know it. So I'm an advocate for legalizing. Legalizing gambling. Legalizing marijuana. Things that don't destroy society. They shouldn't be illegal. Because people are going to do it anyway. You heard it first here from the big dog. We'll be back in a moment. You're on Out of Bounds Sports Show.
years of hair experience, a master with the hot comb and pressing and making the hair soft and beautiful and bouncy. You're just an email away from a wonderful experience at Horns Hair. Email us at jdastylist@gmail.com for your appointment today. Big Dog will take care of you.
The most complete and unique style of training for athletes ages 7 to professional. If we're not training you, we could be training your opponent. Get at us to get more info. Put in work.
Hello and thank you for tuning in. You're watching the Out of Bounds Sports Network with your host, Jay Horn.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me, the Big Dog, on Out of Bounds Sports Show. We're back from my commercial break. Our last topic for today is going to be Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. That game will be tomorrow. Now, I predicted that this series would go 5 only because I think that Houston might get one just for Vegas. I think that they didn't shoot well the last game at home. But they're gonna come out with a little bit more sense of urgency this time, because if you're getting 41 from James Harden, who is your leader, and then you're not getting much from anybody else, it's the same similar situation that LeBron James is in Cleveland. One person, America, cannot beat 5 good players. It's just not possible. Nowhere you can add it up. No analytic can get you to the point where it can prove that one person can beat 5 basketball players, especially the Golden State Warriors. People complain about the Golden State Warriors and their roster, but they were built from the ground up. And Kevin Durant was an excellent addition to a squad that he knew could win 2 or 3 or 4 with his presence there. And he's showing it. And they're making it look easy. And I don't know how the Houston Rockets are going to improvise. The only thing they can do that's different this game than from last game is knock down shots. Because that's the only way you're going to stay in the game and stay close. See, the Golden State Warriors have 3 guys that are practically unguardable. And they play well in the system together. Nobody is selfish. That's why they're unguardable. And when they really need a bucket and they need somebody to go to and get a one-on-one, they got KD, who some people would say is the best player in the world in front of LeBron James. And some people wouldn't. But he's definitely a second close. Definitely a close second place. So when you have these type of guys, and then you have three-point shooters all around. You got Nick Young coming off the bench. You got Sean Livingston coming off the bench, who can score the basketball. Okay? You have Steph Curry. And you have Klay Thompson. Arguably 2 of the best shooters ever to come through the NBA on the same team with Kevin Durant. And you have guys who love to play defense and love to get other guys involved, like Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green. These guys are the real deal. So I hate to say it, Houston, but it'll be over in 5. You heard it here first on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. I want to thank everybody for coming in and joining in and listening to the dog. We'll be back tomorrow night to do it again. All right? Make sure you visit us on www.outofboundswithazsports.com for more information on how you can advertise during the show. Don't run out of time. Get out of bounds.
Thank you for watching the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This broadcast is brought to you by The Boardroom, JCK Fitness, Street Creds, JZ.Fitness, Making the World Famous for Life, and BWZ Sports. Visit OutofBoundsSports.com for more information on how you can be on the show.
This copyrighted broadcast of the Out of Bounds Sports Network may not be rebroadcast, reproduced, or used in any other form without the express written consent